Hello, Ducks fans and hockey fans in Orange County, California. Happy Thursday, everybody. So, this video is going to be a fan reaction video that I'll be doing. It's going to focus on the comments by John Gibson and Hampus Lindholm regarding the Ducks training camp and the young talent that is gathering in this event to earn a spot on the Ducks roster. Now this was taken on the 24th of September during the first 2 days of the Ducks training camp, aka Gathering of the Ducks, and I'm going to give you my personal perspective on the comments made by Gibson and Hampus Lindholm. So here we go.
They're implementing different systems, but I mean, for me, it's obviously the defensive side, and just we're just kind of giving into if we're making changes and what the changes are in the D zone. But
he's referencing in the D zone. If any of you guys know, the Ducks defense has been mediocre to subpar to the point of, let's just say, suffering from kryptonite. So he's speaking power to truth.
Obviously, I've been here with Sudsy, and for me, it's kind of the same. I think for other guys, it's different as far as the systems, but with that, I think it's only day 2, so we haven't really gotten too much into it. Just kind of getting everybody's feet wet and just trying to play with pace and play fast.
You know, I couldn't agree more. When you are basically coming from a disappointing season, a down season, you have that eagerness, that drive, and that focus to set things right. John Gibson mentioning about new systems, and of course there were some hiring, especially on the at the coaching staff level for our Anaheim Ducks. So with new minds and new strategies, don't be surprised for our team to look a bit different, even though that the roster will look somewhat the same.
We've had guys that have been here for 3-4 years now, and I think it's time for them to step up. I mean, we obviously have some core guys that have been together for years, and then we have some young guys that aren't so young anymore, and it's time for them to kind of take things to the next level. And if
he is referring to those under the age of 25 and 24. Mostly Max Comtois, Sam Steele, Isaac Lundstrom, Max Jones, Josh Mahara. All of the young Ducks who have been tested, honing their skills, getting their feet wet, wearing the Ducks D and experiencing the NHL at the how would I put this way? Basically at a fresh face level. So Gibson is hoping, and from what I can read from what he's saying, is that he's hoping that some of these guys will take the next step, because the roles that are there for them is there for them. It's for them to lose or to gain. Either way, the next generation of Ducks in the future is now ready, willing, and able.
they do, then I think we can be a good hockey team. So obviously it's a full team, starting with myself, but we need more from everybody. I think you're going to go into every year fresh. I mean, I think if you go into this year just dwelling on last year, you're not going to have success. So I think you got to come in fresh every year and come in with the mindset that we want to be a competitive team. And
he's making comments and giving his honest opinion on the season expectation. I agree with what he says about not dwelling on the past, especially with the 56-game short season where our Ducks basically didn't have that lack of score. Well, I wouldn't say lack of well. They didn't have that tenacity. They didn't have that intensity and that consistency that we all know. Not to mention the lack of physical of presence that the Ducks, we know the Ducks from the past, but it is what it is. And Gibson focusing on what lie ahead for our team. I'm sure that all of the Ducks, including the coaching staff and basically the front office management, with Stubborn Bob, okay, we'll be looking at the not only a bounce back season, but a season of redemption. Simple as that.
And try and make the playoffs. I mean, I think you ask all the teams across the league, everybody wants to make the playoffs, have a chance to win the Stanley Cup, and I don't think we're any different.
Well, I can just say this, that even though that the Ducks, well, Gibson says the Ducks are not any different, I have to disagree with that. Our Ducks are not only going through a rebuilding mode, but they're going through a mode of restoration and rejuvenation. There's going to be more youth being injected into this team. I'm not going to lie. It's basically what we see now. I mean, if you look at the training camp roster, and you look at some of the young Ducks who are ready, eager, and willing to prove themselves, to earn that spot, to impress Dallas Aikens and the Ducks coaching staff, it will be something that we are basically looking forward to see. I mean, you've got Bo Groom, Mason McTavish, and others ready to just hit the ground running and make a good impression. So let's look at the comments of Hampus Lindholm.
For me, it was just about get the body ready for this year. Then, with my hand injury, I didn't play that much hockey, so it was just exciting to go home and recharge the body and get ready for this year. Pieces of a big puzzle. We just have to keep having the young guys now filled in and contribute. And I think something we've been talking a lot about now in camp is just focus.
Looking at the young guys to contribute, basically, again, to Comtois, but also to any of the Ducks' young talent who will earn the spot if they earn the spot on the Ducks roster. And there's going to be a lot of spots for the Ducks young bloods to earn the spot. Basically at the center, at the wing, at the defense, and basically in the backup goalie position, which is now being contested, but I wouldn't say contested, but being competed for between Lucas Dolstoy and Anthony Stellaris. So he is basically correct on the Ducks youth and what he is hoping for, as with John Gibson.
On how to create the offense and create those scoring chances, and then obviously, like me and Mass in the lineups can help out cleaning up that defense and making.
I gotta agree there, because the defense needs to pick it up, and when you have a defense that's picking up, it helps to ensure that there is support for the goalie, but also, as he mentioned, cleaning it up. He's mentioning that to create offensive striking chances for our team. For our Ducks, it's basically setting up plays that will ensure that the forwards, be it on the right wing, left wing, center, race down to the opposing goalie and score the go-ahead goal.
The defense go quick over to the offense, but I think we just have to have everyone contribute, and even if guys goes down,
everyone contribute. So it's basically, no matter if you're a young, upcoming, talented player within the Ducks system or a veteran, it's basically strength in numbers. Something that I coined on the Ducks message board years ago. So I agree on that one.
It's never going to be a perfect year. You guys all know it's guys always go down here and there, and sometimes you just have to have guys step up in those positions as well.
That's true in a way. You got to have guys stepping up. You got to have not just few guys stepping up. You got to have some of the young, some of the veterans, the defensemen, the wingers, the fourth liners, third liners. Everyone contributes. Everyone contributes to the Ducks winning, crushing their opponents, smashing their rivals, and giving their enemies a massive beatdown. That is something that we want from our team. And having everyone contribute is basically strength in numbers. I mean, you can't rely on so few players to just get you to the promised land. I mean, I could name many examples, and you know what I'm talking about, of the Ducks relying on one or two or three players, and mostly the goalie, to pull off a win or pull off some sort of success or victory at the end. But all in all players from defensemen to right wing, left wing, centers, and goalies have to contribute to the Ducks' wins and the victories over our enemies and rivals.
I think for all the you see so many young skilled guys coming in the league now, and there might be like a little smaller bodies on them, but they're so skilled so they can play the game right away. But where they're probably short is probably defending. When you have a big guy like Reaction2 coming at you, you have to, if you can't use your weight in your body, you got to play smarter and use your skating and try.
What he meant by that is literally the way I see what he was mentioning is that you use here. Okay? Skilled players, use here. Considering, say, he used like Getzey and Raquel. Say, for example, you got a physical power forward coming down the wing. Okay? Some of the young players that are skilled, that may lack some sort of physicality, will always use here to outwit the opponent, to outwit the rival. Our Ducks have some young players that have that skill, that can use that hockey IQ to their advantage. It's simple as that. It tells you something that with the right mixture, you can do anything. You have that balancing effect. You have that youth of skill and veteran presence that have strength and power. It goes hand in hand.
Try to get their stick and be around them and just be like that kind of like annoying little fly and just don't give them any time and space. And I think that's where all those guys can learn, and I think that's where we veteran can help them out, because if you want to be a really good defenseman in this league, like you look at the top guys, they're not just offensively, they're two-way.
That's true in a way. What I take from these comments from Gibson and Lindholm is basically they know, as do Stubborn Bob, that the Anaheim Ducks are rebuilding and are in restoring and in a rejuvenation mode. And hearing their comments is basically to not just me, but to all of us Ducks fans who has been following this team since day one. We should not be surprised by their goals at the Ducks training camp and expectations of the younger players stepping up, ready to just contribute to the Ducks cause. For me personally, I am not surprised by this. I'm not surprised that some of these guys are ready to express that way, like to just be open, be honest in a way, to understand that our Ducks are going through a metamorphosis in this rebuilding mode. So one day that our team will not only bounce back, but will rise again to reclaim the Stanley Cup. It's obvious, it's simple, I won't say it's simple, it's no surprise to us. And that's the main truth that we know that the Ducks, being that they were flawed, will have the youth infusion for this upcoming season. And that, to me, is something that we should not be surprised at. Is this team going in? Will they have some setbacks? Yes. But as we count down each day and each week, we know that for our Ducks to basically persevere, they got to have that mixture of youth and experience and the younger guys, basically younger players, to step up and contribute. Even though that stubborn Bob didn't make any moves in the offseason, it is what it is. And no matter how the 29th edition of the Ducks will look like, we know that this team will have its growing pains, but it will have the young bloods learn from the mentorship of the veterans, especially Ducks captain Ryan Getzlaf. So we can't be surprised by the comments of Hampus and John Gibson. Speaking of Gibson, just want to share with you what he has said on the Ducks rebuilding. It's very telling in a way. It's on the NHL website, and this is what Gibson says. Gibson responds to Ducks rebuilding. I'm here to win. Goalie says it's time for young players to step up and others to reach the next level. This is what he said at the Ducks training camp in Irvine, California. I don't want to lose. I'm here to win. Basically, in referring to that, he is literally sending a message, well, not just a symbolic message, but a gesture of more of a motivation to the next generation of Ducks, the younger players, mostly. I mean, saying, I don't want to lose, I'm here to win. Telling them that, hey, you know what, you got to step up and start winning and start turning this team and this franchise around. And here's what he has to say again. I'm tired of it, Gibson said. Hopefully going into this year, we can start off the right and kind of turn the ship. Because I think if you ask anybody in the locker room, they're tired of losing. I know I am. I'm tired of being at the bottom of the division, kind of out of the things where there are still 3 months left to play in the season. What this paragraph tells me is that he is basically telling and just voicing not only his honesty, but also basically telling the next generation of Ducks, the younger players within the rank and file, and maybe some of the younger players who will earn a spot in the Ducks roster, that, hey, we got to stop this slump. We got to stop being inconsistent. We got to start winning, and we start crushing our rivals, destroying our enemies, and pulverizing any opposition in our way. Basically, like, we need to win now. And if this is his comments and making it these statements now, if I was a Ducks player, at least 25 years or younger, I would be looking at his comments and asking myself, yeah, I got to step it up. I have to step up. Because considering that with some of these young guys, especially the 5 that were re-signed as restricted free agents, I would hope that they would take these comments not just as a disrespect, but also as a sense of motivation. Because most of these young guys are at a point of their career that are ready to not only bounce back, but just take off and start dishing out punishment, no matter what happens. And as we count down each day, I hope that as the Ducks assemble their roster, we see some of these young players will be ready, willing, and able to not only contribute to the Ducks' cause, but score key important goals in achieving victory. So, till then, I'll see you guys soon again.